But anyway, so we've got Team 11, who you're probably well familiar with if you've been watching the stream. This is their third game of the night. And over here we have Team deRick, please. With RKU on, we've got Cock Meat Sandwich, we've got a Wizard, we've got Pepperjack25, and Danny Sultani. And I will have a co-caster, but she will be joining later on. She is in the middle of something right now. In the meantime, I'll just talk about the bands. Thresh and Ari, pretty standard bands. Thresh is strong, Ari is strong. Jesus, we have a great teammate over here. It's been so... I never see these anymore. No one ever honors. But yeah, the Cassidon. Kind of expect a Fizz and Zed if they're going with this kind of theme. But in the meantime... Oh, Aatrox. But they have the Zed ban. I'd be kind of surprised if I saw Fizz go through. He's kind of the last of the 4 big mids right now. Fizz, Ari, Zed, Cassidon. So we'll see what they do. I do like the Aatrox pick ban though, if they're going Fizz. They don't want to fight the Kalios LeBlanc. Picked it last game up against a Nidalee. He did pretty well, he got first blood. He had some overextensions and some weirdness, but ultimately he ended up positive and having good impact in a lot of fights. I guess they're just scared of that. Or it could just be that they're not comfortable against LeBlanc. Like, sometimes you're comfortable playing at someone who's really strong because you know how to deal with them, whereas someone who's weaker you can have trouble with because you don't know the best counterplay. Part of why every victor I see in ranked wins super hard. But they just pick up the Shen. They picked this up last game too. And he did alright up top lane. Wasn't perfect, but it was alright. But then we get the Udyr and Jinx. I haven't really actually played... I haven't played Jinx and I haven't played with many Jinxes, so I'm not really that sure how strong she is. She seems to do alright in every game. I haven't noticed anything in particular egregious about her. But we've got another Sona. Oh, maybe not. Maybe. I don't know. There's a Sona pickup, maybe. An Aatrox, and a Nivea pickup, maybe. Which would be really cool. Nivea is really strong, it's just she's not popular, because a lot of the current mids counter her. But this team likes to troll me, so I'll just wait and see. Three, two, one, and it's Jarvan, who is always a solid pick. Like, at least right now, there's never a team comp where I say, should we jungle Jarvan or would he be a bad jungle? And I say no. Like, I never say no to that question. Like, he does good damage early on, he tanks, he CCs, he jungles well, he fights other junglers well. Please, Blitz. Do it. Last game, Blitz was banned, so it'd be kind of cool to see him. And the Aurelia pickup. I don't remember if it was this team or another team, but I saw an Aurelia just crush face earlier in the circuit. Like, she lost lane really hard to a Renekton, and then come late game she was just 1v3ing the enemy backline. And the Blitz. Sona's gonna have to be really careful. Like, last game, the Sona who played last game was really aggressive, and that worked at times, but it also wouldn't work against a Blitz, I think. Annie's a decent mid. She can be not so much hard counter, just there's a lot of mids that do kind of well against her because they can outrange her in poker. But you still have to respect the Annie. And Gragas the Fat Man, one of League's most mobile champions, because, I don't know. Apparently fat people in League of Legends are really fast. His dash is just insane. And he also has a huge burst. He's really popular right now. And no fizz pickup, which is kind of interesting. They might pick him up on deRick, please, but I'm not sure. They could pick up the Anivia. Ooh, Cassiopeia. That's cool. She does really well against melee mids because she can just spam her Q, and if she hits you, she gets 2 or 3 hits of her E. And it makes it really hard to approach the creep wave. And her ult can be really good if you catch it right, but it can also backfire at times. So she does have to be careful, especially with Jarvan, who can just kind of come in, especially with Gragas first. So it should be good. Looking at summoners, everything seems pretty normal. No cleanse for Vayne, but there isn't that much cleansable CC. Like, there's a snare that she can avoid. There's a stun. There's a stun/slow. And then most of Cassiopeia's stuff gets reapplied instantly. Got a shout out for Cockmeat. And that's the picks. So we're gonna have to sit through the 3-minute delay. So I'll talk matchups. Vayne Sona versus Jinx Blitz. I don't know, it's kind of tricky, but you can never really count out a Vayne in lane, because even if she gets outlaned, she can just turn on huge amounts of burst, and you have to be really careful at all times. Although Blitz is kind of the same way. Like, Blitz can be doing really badly, but if he gets the really good hook, especially with the jungler gank, it's just over. Top lane, Aurelia versus Shen. This should be really nice for Aurelia. Like, Shen shouldn't be able to kill her at all. And then Aurelia just scales really well. Like, with the Triforce being so strong, she's super good. Mid lane, Gragas should have a rough time, but he can farm, so it shouldn't be impossible to win. And he does have the benefit of huge amounts of mobility, so it's going to be really hard for an Udyr to gank him without flash. Whereas on the other hand, Cassiopeia only has a stun at level 6, and only if the enemy's looking at her. And J4 can just EQ R, and she has to flash her, she's just kind of dead. Overall, I think if deRick Please does this right, I like their team more. But it's really easy for either team to get an advantage, except for top lane. I don't think Pepperjack's gonna have any issues up top lane. Like, even if he gets camped, I don't think he'll have any issues whatsoever. And watch as he feeds all game, and I'm wrong. But yeah, top lane should be a wash. I don't know. I kind of expect a lot of back and forth to go in mid lane from the junglers. Maybe some bot lane, but bot lane's always really hard to gank, because everyone just wards everything. Although J4 can do lane ganks really well. Udyr has a much tougher time with that, because he doesn't have the initiation. Just looking at the bans and compared to what they picked, I know Ahri, Zed, and LeBlanc don't really tell you much.
Hey there. Sorry about that. Just got my behind handed to me in an in-house, so...
Sounds like Team 11.
Danny is picking Cassiopeia. That's the second time he's played Cassie in, like, a week.
They even banned the LeBlanc. They didn't want to see that again.
Did they really?
Because Kallio played it last game.
Was it successful then?
He did alright. But I think they're just kind of scared of LeBlanc in general.
Yeah,
although they didn't do a good... They didn't end up winning the game, unfortunately.
Aww. Of course, they've always helped.
My computer might take its sweet old time to load into the spectator client, so I apologize.
Oops, did a little bit of fixing something and messed up a little bit, but it's okay. Stream is good, so let's look at the skins. Surgeon Shen is the only skin for Team 11. And they're up against Jade Fang Cassiopeia, which I haven't seen before and looks kind of cool. Aviator Aurelia, and Spirit Guard Udyr. So they're clearly going to lose, and it's going to be sad.
That's usually how that works.
As we all know, the skin war is 100% effective at figuring out who wins.
But doesn't Shen, like, Surgeon Shen count as like 2?
Nope. Only if you have Nurse Akali. In which case, you beat any other team.
Alright, fair enough.
Yeah, summoners are all pretty normal though.
Definitely. I'm actually really interested to see how the bottom lane ends up panning out, just because Sona is so squishy against that Blitzcrank, if he can land pulls.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be really rough for Vayne, because
yeah, I don't think
Blitz can kinda zone them, and Jinx has that really strong harass potential from just toggling her Q.
Yeah, definitely. She's a good bully. And I think that was a smart choice against the Vayne to at least try to shut her down early. And it might be nice to have that added CC with her traps, so they can guarantee hooks. But we'll see.
The scoreboard's all set up.
Yay!
Oh, they're going for the crazy hook. Yeah, playing against a Blitz in the early invade is really tricky.
Yeah, you have to get words out like super quick.
Ooh, this is gonna be interesting.
I hope I load in time.
Because if Blitz does his hook correctly, the Sona's there. Oh, they hit Sona, and that's first blood. Poor Sona.
Poor Sona, that's... Who got the kill?
First blood goes to Cassiopeia. Oh, that's painful.
That's really good for their team.
That was a blind hook too, there was no vision there.
Nice.
So everything's gonna go back to normal. Except Sona's gonna be sad. And so is Gragas.
Yeah.
Actually, Gragas is gonna be the most sad.
That's true, it doesn't put bottom lane way too far behind.
Yeah, because this game isn't Dota, you don't lose anything for dying, except time.
Yeah.
We've got an R Udyr instead. I see lots of Q Udyrs right now, because that huge burst. He's going for the AoE clear. He could change it up, though. But Greg versus Cassie. Cassiopeia starts with an extra boots and potions.
That'll be really nice against Gragas. Dodge those barrels.
The mana potions especially. Like, she wasn't gonna have them earlier.
I'm waiting for another Hook of Destiny.
Blitz with bush control. Scary.
Oh,
Ah. I feel like he should have just gone for Sona.
yeah, probably. He had a chance for a while, too.
Well, Udyr's coming up top. They want to get Pepperjack rolling on this Aurelia. Shen has taunt, but he might die here.
The J4 is waiting in the wings at mid.
They had the kill if he flashed for it, I feel.
Yeah, very possibly.
Oh well. That still gives a pretty large advantage to Aurelia for a while. Fighting going on in mid lane. It's not gonna end up in anything, but it's still gonna